Hey, everybody, welcome back to the 10X Real Estate Warrior Nation, where we help ordinary agents and loan officers become extraordinary 10X Real Estate Warriors. Today, I'm really excited to actually talk to one of our 10X Top Guns, Chris Heller, who actually works over at OJO Labs. He is their Chief Real Estate Officer, and he's going to actually talk to us about how his company is actually making a huge impact in providing leads and solid quality leads to realtor partners. So let's bring Chris in. How are you today, Chris?
I'm doing good. Sean. Thanks for having me.
That's awesome. So Chris, tell us a little more, tell us a little bit about your new company here, and tell us how it actually impacts the realtor community.
Yeah, so we at OJO, we come in contact with tens of thousands of consumers every month, actually hundreds of thousands. And many of these consumers are in the process of buying or selling a home. And if they don't have an agent, and while we're talking to them, we will ask them if they'd like to be connected to a great agent in the area that they're looking at, or to help them with the home they've identified. And if they do, then we will send a message out to 2, 3, 4, 5 of the agents that are members of the OJO Select Network. And the first one that responds gets that live introduction. So we have the consumer on the line. We say, Sean, we have Jeff on the line. He's looking for a property in your area. We told him you're the best agent in the area, that you take great care of him, and we'll let you guys take it from here. And then we follow up with a concierge team who, communicates with you and the consumer and make sure everyone's getting what they need and everyone's progressing down the road. And then the agents pay us a referral fee on the closing. So it's a great way for agents to augment their business, or to add another source of introductions of buyers and sellers to their business.
I want to just touch on, right before we went on, Chris, I said to Chris, I was doing a presentation and I signed up as an agent because I'm still an agent, and, people say, oh, well, are these guys really still working in the business? Well, we are. And what's interesting is I signed up myself and my staff. I have a couple of people on my team, and we signed up for your service. And as I'm talking to, in regard to the 10X Real Estate Warrior Summit, to one of my sponsors, people, the thing comes up and it says, hey, we got a call. We want to connect with you, Sean. Are you available? I think it's important to point out, we've been both in the industry for 25 years. There's been referral companies out there for years. I want to say the better part of 20 years. But I think what's intriguing about what you're doing is something that we did as a team back in the day, which was, if one of my guys that was on the phone with me in my group got on the phone with a person that wants to sell a house, they said, hold on a minute, let me see if I get Sean on the phone. And they actively transferred you to that person while that person was still excited, while that person was still motivated. They put him on the phone with them instantly. You're doing the same thing now with a live transfer, because I've been on the other side of that phone call. And exactly what you said is, your people have a script that say, oh my God, Sean's the best in the area and he's going to be able to help you. Do you have any other questions before I transfer you over? And the next thing you know, I'm talking to a live, ready, willing, and able buyer. So you're not just providing an email or a Facebook bot or something along that lines. You're providing real bodies.
Yeah, it's the advantage is, when a consumer goes online and they fill out a form to get information, or they want information, or they want to see a property. As agents, we've all gotten those form fills, right? We get those emails, we get those leads. Some of us buy them, some of us generate themselves. There's a big difference between that and someone filling that out, and then us calling that person and saying, hey, Karen, we know that you fill out this form on this property. How can we help you? And they say, well, I like the way it looks, or I'm looking in the area, or I'd like to see this property. Great. Do you have an agent that you're committed to yet? Are you, will you be financing or paying cash? If this is the house you like, or if you find the home you like, do you plan on buying a home within the next 6 months? And if we get the right answers to those questions, then we say, well, we have a network of the very best agents. And if you'd like, we'd be happy to connect you one right now. Do you have a few more minutes? And when they say yes, then again, those text messages go out, like the one you got, Sean, and the first agent that responds gets that live introduction. So this is a consumer that's, are they all ready to go right now? Of course not. No. Some are now business, some are future business. But they've taken a couple of actions that they filled out a form, they accepted a phone call from us, they said, yes, please connect me. So there's definitely some intent there.
So I want to just illustrate something that you've actually touched on. I don't even know if you realize you did it. Is years ago I worked for a company, a large company in the Northeast, and I'm sure you know them, big yellow company, and they started a lead company within the company, and I was very close to the fire. I knew the owner of the company who has been in business for 50 years at that point, and he said, the reason why I started an inside lead company with a call center and 25 people in a call center and the whole thing was, he said, I got tired of having properties where people weren't getting responded. And I got tired of going to social events and dinner events and the people saying, oh my God, we called your office, but nobody called us back. And he said that he spent 2 years and over several $1,000,000 to do a survey of all the real estate companies across the country, not just his company, but across the country. And the number that he learned was staggering. He said, out of the realtors that we called, first of all, the average response time, take a wild guess what that time was, Chris.
Oh, it's I'm sure it's several hours, but it's
15, back then it was 15 hours was the average response time. It's probably less now, but let's just say 15 hours. The funny thing was, though, is that was with the 45% of the people that returned the call. 55% of the people never got a call back at all.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about is actually, and the reason why most realtors don't do that is, one, they don't want to go through all the crap to figure out to get to the cream of the crop, or two, they just don't have the time in their schedule. So when people say, oh, they want to get a piece of my deal, well, I can go spend the time to go do the research, hire somebody, get somebody hired, then put them in place, then train them, teach them a script, teach them a dialogue, to then answer the phone, and then hope that person actually has some kind of a closing ratio and is able to create some kind of rapport with that person professionally, physically, emotionally, to then be able to turn them into something warmer. You're actually taking all that out of the equation and going, here, we're just gonna pre-cook them. You guys are basically like a TV dinner for real estate. You're like, here, man, here you go. Just stick it in the microwave for 3 minutes. And if they say yes, take them out, show them a house, and sell them a house.
You're dating us when you talk about TV dinners. With
a lot more technology involved.
Yeah. I can't believe we used to eat those things.
My wife does. They're healthier.
Yeah, it's there. I think a lot of teams and agents are starting to realize it's actually more cost effective. Like, to your point, if you're going to buy leads, build an ISA team, have the systems in place, and then really do it at a level where you're actually creating a positive ROI. By the time you total up all the cost of that in time, energy, and money, versus paying a success fee on the back end, there may not be much of a difference at all. In fact, you could possibly get money ahead.
You worked at a very large company previously, and I'm assuming we could share that or no?
Yeah.
You worked at Keller Williams. You were the CEO of that company, and I remember when I worked there, they had an entire course, an entire program within the MAPS program on helping the agents to hire and fire people and train people and get them up and running. And I still remember the statistic that the guy said, and it rang true, which was you needed like 100 to 150 resumes to get to 10 or 15 people that you're going to interview, to then interview. And out of that, you may end up with a half a person that's going to actually stay with you for anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So just a lost opportunity cost of spending the time to interview people, go through the process, getting their applications, getting the right resume, then going and sit with them and go through that whole exercise. I have better things. I always tried to help my agents say, if you came to work on my team, I wanted you to sell. I didn't want you to go clean fish. I didn't want you to have to go put them in the icebox. I wanted you to just go out and sell. So really what you're doing is creating the model for, and it may not be for everybody. It may not be for the guy who has the team already in motion, but for the people that don't have an emotion, and for the agent that's trying to go from there's a guy, a friend of mine doing a class on this. It's called Bridging the Chasm, right? So the chasm of going from being sole entrepreneur to being a team or a business, there's a big jump in between there, and most people don't make it across.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And even if someone does have a team and they're doing it, it's the way I look at it, and I still have a team in San Diego, and my team belongs to multiple referral networks, because we're going to keep doing the things we do to build our business, right? An agent should be doing things on a daily basis to build their business, to generate new leads, to nurture and incubate those leads, to create future, repeat and referral business. This is just a way to augment or supercharge or add to whatever you're doing.
Did you see Patina's comment? Oh my gosh, you're talking about the period in my career when I drank the most and cried the most. Patina, you and me both.
Yeah.
It's true though. What's interesting, I find interesting is you operate a team in several market centers within Keller Williams organization, and you just said it. You said we're still buying leads, or we're still subscribing to other referral partners, not just your own company, but you have your own team taking in leads from other places too.
Yeah,
it just makes sense, right?
It makes sense. And there's, the thing that I love about what we're doing at OJO, and I'm not saying this because I'm biased. I'm saying it because it's just how it is. Unlike other referral networks, we're agents. I'm an agent. So we understand what's important to agents. Our stated goal is to have the happiest network of agents. And we want to have happy agents because we want to give them something of value. And we know if we're doing that, then in the end, we're all going to win. So, there's things that we are and will continually be working on to improve the process, to improve the quality of the introductions that we're making. But whether I was doing this or not, if someone said, what should agents be focused on? I'd say, hey, you should be focused on generating new relationships and deepening the relationships that you have. And this is a way to do that.
And when you say, deepening the relationship, right? How does your company deepen that relationship? How do you provide value over and above just saying, here's a lead, go run with it?
Yeah, so there's two ways. So some of the consumers that we introduce to agents we just met them, they have an immediate need, they want to be introduced to an agent, and we'll facilitate that. Others are not ready. And so what we'll do is we'll introduce them to OJO, the product. And OJO is a artificially intelligent real estate advisor, and they can interact with OJO on their phone, and they can text back and forth with OJO and ask it questions, and OJO will start to ask the consumer questions about the type of homes they like, and ask them to do some fun things like give them thumbs up and thumbs down and answer these questions. And OJO learns what the consumer is looking for. And then based on what the consumer is looking at, OJO learns about the consumer. And then OJO is able to start to provide properties back to the consumer that has the characteristics they may be looking for. In those situations, when we're able to introduce that type of consumer to an agent, we're also able to give the agent just more information than, their name, their email, the name they're looking in, and their price range. And that's a value. And as we learn about new things from the consumer, even after we've introduced them to the agent, we will always make the agent aware of those things. Those are the things we do, but it's really incumbent upon the agent. I was in a meeting a little while ago and with one of the people on our team, and I said, look, if I sold you a house 4 years ago, hopefully as an agent, I'm staying in touch, you're getting monthly communication from me. But 2 years from now, when you go to sell that house, there's no guarantee you're going to call me or use me. In fact, 2 years from now, there's going to be even more options for you as a consumer to be able to sell your home or to accomplish whatever goal you have. It's incumbent upon me to make sure I'm delivering value at a deep level. So in 2 years from now, when you are thinking about doing something, you're going to call me and say, hey, Chris, I'm thinking about this, or I saw this company that offers this. What do you suggest? What should I do? Or can you help me? And that's when I say deepening the relationships as agents. If we don't do that, the people in our database, our past clients, our sphere of influence are going to have other options that they're going to explore without you.
So I was talking to somebody recently about there's the dating. You have dating, and then you get married, and then there's the honeymoon phase. And when the honeymoon phase is over, is where most agents drop the ball. That dating phase. It's like when you first meet somebody, it's like, oh my God, okay, great, and then all of a sudden you start to get comfortable with each other, and and I think there's something to be said for having another set of hands, another set of eyes, because your company stands to benefit as much as the agent does. So you're actually massaging the lead and saying, hey, by the way, this guy mentioned this or that, you should go touch him. Because the short time that I've been on your platform, I've gotten updates from your team saying, hey, by the way, so-and-so just interacted with our artificial intelligence and here's what they said. And if you're, different than most of the companies that are out there. And I want to be that abundantly clear about that is, Chris said this a minute ago. He said, I'm an agent and I'm talking to my team who is building the artificial intelligence or the bots and all that. And most of the people that build that stuff have no clue what the psychology of a buyer is or the process is. And what you're saying, Chris, is, hey, wait a second. I know that makes sense on paper, but that's not the way they actually do. That's not how somebody buys a house.
Well, and not only that, most of those companies don't look at agents the way we look at. I've been an agent for let's see,
long time,
38 years. 38 years I've had my license, and that's a long time. And most of those companies don't. They look at the agents as a means to an end. They look at the agent as, okay, this is someone that we have to interact with to get what we want. We look at the agents as our partners in this process of taking this consumer who's starting off on our site or on a site, and then helping them throughout the process. So partnering with the agent, where OJO and the agent partner together to provide this great experience for the consumer. And to your point, when that happens, we all win. We have happy consumers. The agent gets to fulfill the dreams of a buyer or seller, and then there's future repeat and referral business.
And so, and of the, you said it a minute ago, you're talking to hundreds of thousands of inquiries and leads and process.
Yeah, we last month in January we made over 28,000 introductions to agents.
Wow, 28,000 introductions, and of that, and this just brings it in perspective for some people. I had a conversation with somebody recently, and they were talking about, oh my God, well that's against my principles to have a referral company or pay a referral company. And I said, 5-8 years ago, it was against my principles also. And I said, but then I started to realize that the cost of doing business has actually gone. And I don't know if it's the difference in the age of the people that we're hiring nowadays and the people on our team where they want to just be handed something and they'd rather make less on more faster. Because when we were trained, it was like, okay, here's how you acquire the lead. Here's how you massage the lead. And it's going to take you on this type of lead. It's going to take 6 to 8 months. On this type of lead, it may take you a day to 20 days or 30 days. And you're okay with that. But what you're implying is, hey, with 28,000 leads, there's going to be a group of, I want to do it right now, a group of, I want to do it 1 to 3 months from now, and a group of 3 months to a year from now.
Yeah.
Any one of those is fine, because you're going to now use your artificial intelligence to incubate them and to nurture them, correct?
Yeah, and the agent hopefully is doing the same, right? So agents, you'll hear agents talk about leads in different programs, and they'll say, "Oh, these are bad leads." And my response is always like, "There are no bad leads. There's bad follow-up, but every person you meet is an opportunity for, like you said, Sean. It's either now business, future business, or future referral sources. So every agent should have the goal of wanting to build their database with as many people as possible that they have an opportunity to market to and help with their real estate needs.
It's interesting you touch on that, because when you said it a minute ago, you said, well, the agent should be doing something also, right? So we recently signed up with your service. When I say we, I have myself, I have a operations manager, I have a buyer's agent. And the first thing I did with my team was I said, hey, listen, even though the OJO has OJO has its own artificial intelligence, it has some kind of incubation process, that doesn't limit us and shouldn't limit us from doing our normal process, which was take that lead, get in contact with them, make a relationship with them, set up an appointment to follow up with them to say, hey, I'm going to set you up with a search and with the properties that you're asking me for. I'm going to set up an appointment to follow up with you in 2 days from 3 days from now, because I want to make sure that the stuff that I'm sending you is the right properties in the right town and the right community. And really what we're doing is we're future pacing them to say, hey, we're going to be in this for the long haul. We're your partner in this, and we're going to let you know, you're going to let us know when you see something you like. But also we're going to use, like in my company, we have KV Core. KV Core has its own artificial intelligence that says, hey, Sean, so Chris opened up this property and he's not looking at 3 bedrooms anymore. Now he's looking at 4 bedrooms. You probably want to update your search. And, there's stuff like Wailopo, who is Howard is one of our speakers on the summit, can do that dynamically. But for the people that can't afford that service just yet, you need to be applying both, it sounds like, not just one or the other.
Yeah, it's I used to always, so way back when I was showing properties to buyers, I would always say, and whether I was showing them properties or sending them properties, so the most important thing is for you to give me feedback, to tell me what you like and don't like, so that we can narrow our focus.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm just going to keep sending you the stuff. So what happens, I think a lot of agents leave out that important piece. They'll put someone on a search and they'll send them properties and they'll get the alerts. You get them. I get them on my phone. And but they never check in to say, hey, what do you think of that one? Or what do you like about it? If you like it, what do you like? If you don't like it, what don't you like? So that the agent can constantly be working with the buyer and helping the buyer, because the buyer may not always consciously do that, right? They know what they like and what they don't like, but they don't always connect the dots as to why they like it or why they don't like it. But in a conversation, you're able to get real feedback and then be able to send them properties or to help them narrow it down, which helps you and the consumer to do to work together much more effectively and efficiently.
As you're saying it, I'm just thinking, like, we had a script back in the day and it was, hey, Chris, I just want to let you know, I'm going to actually have my mortgage lender talk to you. And while he's doing that, I'm going to send you 7 to 10 of the properties that are in the market right now. Of those, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 that you're going to like or not like. But of the remaining ones, I need you to do me a favor and just figure out which ones you actually like and which ones give me some feedback to tell me which ones of those we actually want to go look at. And, and oh, by the way, on Saturday at 10 o'clock, when we go to look at, are you available on Saturday at 10 o'clock? Well, yeah. So, yeah. Okay, great. So of the properties that we go look at, pick the 3 or 4 that you want to go look at and we'll go look at them. Well, no, I want to look at all 10. Well, first we got to get, and that was our way of filtering through. But also, if we said to you, hey, we're going to get together at 10 o'clock on Saturday, does that work for you? And you said, no, I'm just not there yet, or I'm not ready yet. That was just another filter for us to pre-qualify somebody. And what you're saying is that, and what a lot of agents don't realize, the hardest piece of the business is figuring out when that person is ready to take them out of the oven and go sell them something. And what your artificial intelligence is going to do is add another layer, so they don't have to think as hard about that. You don't have to be as smart. I hate to say it that way, but it's true. It takes some of the skill set out of it, but it also creates efficiency.
Well, and we also have, I think I mentioned, we also have a concierge team. So our concierge is checking in with the consumer too, saying, hey, this is Chris from OJO. We introduced you to Sean a couple weeks ago. We were checking in to see how it's going. Oh, it's going great. Sean is on the ball. We're going out this weekend. Or they'll say, hey, he seems like a nice guy. I haven't heard from him in a week or 2. Or he's sending me stuff, but it's not really what I'm looking for. And then we're able to contact Sean and say, hey, Sean, just want to give you the heads up. We talked to Bill, the buyer we introduced you to, and sounds like it might be a good idea for you to check in with him. He may be looking for something different than what he originally told you, whatever the case is. So it's really helpful for the agent to have that
clarity.
Yeah, the clarity, and also have that partnership with our concierge team, where you have this another person from this other company that also is trying to help you with the consumer.
On a side note, there's nothing more frustrating than working with technology and platforms and systems like Facebook, right? Trying to get a response from them on their tech support or on their chat or whatever. I will stand as a testament to this to say, I first got on your platform. I was trying to get my associate Krill on the platform. and I wrote them an email or something on your chat bot, and I figured, oh, the text is coming from a machine. It's not going to respond. All of a sudden I get a text saying, hey, Sean, we just want to let you know we got your email. We're going to send you a document that you need to sign or whatever and put them on the document. And by the way, that was in the text. So that meant that there was somebody physically on the other end of the text looking at it. It wasn't just a bot. And then the guy, I wrote him back, and I figured out this is a machine. I wrote them back, and the guy goes, no, we're real. He goes, we'll take care of it. And 4 seconds later, I had an email in my inbox. So when you're an agent, let's face it, our average community is between 55 and 65. That's our demographical realtors, or is what the
average age,
average age of the realtors, 55 to 65. We're not real good at that age of botting and chatting and blah blah blah. We want to physically talk to somebody or text them. And for your platform to be able to do that, it gives people like me a level of comfort that, is that person real back there, or are they a machine,
Yeah.
Chris, what do you? Is there anything that we should be leaving them with, or any thoughts about? Hey, let me ask you this: you've seen some of the information from the 10X Real Estate Warriors and stuff like that, and the 10X Real Estate Warrior Nation. What did you learn from doing that? From being one of our guests, or from one of the other guests?
I made a lot of investments in my life, and some of them have turned out extremely well and made a lot of money, and others not. But probably the best investment I've ever made is just investing in myself, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through attending, and my brain is going to mush. Whether it's attending these
seminars, webinars,
these type of events, training events, webinars. This is, you don't have to figure it out on your own. And there's always someone who's doing it better than you are. And so you want to learn from them. And that's where, I remember, I know she's not watching, so my former wife at one point complained about the money I was spending on coaching.
Right.
And I said, let me explain to you that how much money we make because of the coaching, and the house that we're living in, we were able to buy because of the coaching. So a lot of people look at those things as an expense. It's not, it's an investment. Now, if you attend it and you don't pay attention, you don't take any notes, you don't implement anything, it was an expense. But things like this are awesome. And I always learn as much as anyone when I'm participating in one of them.
Well, we appreciate you having taken a part in number one and number two. I mean, we met from a coaching organization 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And Chris was literally on the opposite side of the United States. I would have never met you. It's funny when you say that with your ex-wife. I remember meeting my wife, and she said, "You spend how much on coaching?" And I go, "Well, you're a physician, right?" And I said, "Do surgeons make more money, or do general practitioners make more money?" She goes, "Well, general surgeons do." I said, "Well, what's the difference between a surgeon and a general practitioner?" "Oh, they go a lot more time. They go to school more. They spend years learning their craft." I go, "Well, that's the same principle." And I said, I remember saying to my wife, I would give up eating before I gave up my payment for my coaching, because if I gave up the coaching payment, I'd be afraid I wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
And so, Chris, as always, it's always a pleasure to have you. You're a wealth of knowledge, and you're just, down to earth. It's real simple. It's no wonder that OJO, you made it simple and easy too. If they want to get involved in being a partner, what does it take for them to get involved to be a partner on the platform?
There's a simple application. If you go to our website, ojo.com, and then on the top right, there's a tab that says agents. Click on that tab, and it'll take you to the information about the referral network and the application.
I'm trying to find here you go. So if you guys didn't get that, in the comments, we're going to have the link. Just grab the link. And by the way, it's not for everybody. I will tell you that they're pretty selective, but they're looking for strong partners that really care about people.
And we need a lot more agents. We have a lot more consumers than we do agents right now.
But and here's the best part is, they want to have the happiest organization of agents. I thought that was pretty interesting. So that was your stated goal, is what you said, right?
Yeah. We want to have the happiest agents and the happiest consumers.
That's awesome. It's a great, great message. Chris, as always, man, it's a pleasure. We always appreciate you. Thanks so much for coming.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day, Chris. Bye now.